Welcome, my friends, to the Horse and the Kids Werewolf Weekly Show. My name is Seth, and I am a crazy person obsessed with werewolf movies, so I gotta talk about them. I'm concluding my coverage of the Howling franchise, which I started back in, I think, September, when I covered the trilogy of novels from Gary Brandner. And then I've gone through every movie, and tonight I'll be talking about the final movie, The Howling Reborn. Before I continue too much, I do have to say I've been very sick over the last couple weeks, and I went to the doctors earlier this week, and they told me I had bronchitis, and so my voice sounds a little rough, and I'm going to try to speak a little bit slower. I may have to take some pauses because of difficulty breathing, but just wanted to throw that out there. I figured this being The Howling Reborn, I doubt a lot of people are going to watch, but if you are watching, and if you're watching on YouTube, thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. If you're watching on Facebook, give us any type of emoji you want, whether it be the thumbs up or the laugh emoji, heart emoji, whatever you want to do. So, yeah, tonight I'm covering The Howling Reborn. So, getting into it, and I just want to say, too, that there's a bunch of crazy names attached to this one, so I'm probably going to butcher a few of them. But The Howling Reborn, it stars Landon Liberoin, Lindsay Shaw, and Ivana Milikovic. It is directed by Joe Nimzicki. It's written by Joe Nimzicki and James Robert Johnston. It is not based on The Howling 2 by Gary Brandner, despite what the credits say. And I do have more of a thought on that after I cover the story itself. Yeah, so I'll get into it with my kind of dickish, synopsis. Again, I'm sorry about the voice and all that, and the long pauses, because I am still pretty sick. So the story, the spoiler-free version, the dickhead version from me, is basically this. I'm just gotta pull my notes back up again. I thought I had it good to go. Okay, here we go. So Peter Parker, Will Kidman, is a high school senior who struggles to find his place in the world as he fawns over Mary Jane Watson. Damn it, Elena Winter, while also getting bullied by her dickhead boyfriend Flash Thompson. Roland. But Will is no ordinary teenager, because he was infected by a werewolf that attacked his mother while he was still in the womb. And now, 18 years later, he begins to develop his lycanthropic abilities and must fight them off. They must fight off a pack of werewolves who plan to create an army of their species under a blue moon. And that is the point where I feel like so this movie has literally nothing in common with The Howling 2, the book from Gary Brandner. I don't know why they specifically chose that one, when I think they could have probably gone, they probably could have said based on The Howling 3 by Gary Brandner, even though it's not an adaptation of that either, but there's like certain elements of that book that are kind of in this film. So I don't know why they went with Howling 2 for the credit instead of Howling 3, but it is what it is. So getting into the pros, I think this is the best looking film of all the sequels. The direction and cinematography are decent, and the scenes of action are not too shabby either. but more on that when I get into some of the more werewolf specific categories for this show. So that's where a little bit more positives will show up there. I also think it's got a pretty solid third act where the where the action and the effects get to shine. Um, that's kind of about it for the cons for now. There are again, there are a few more when the werewolf categories come up because I think, spoiler, I think the werewolf side of things is actually pretty cool in this movie, especially in the third act. But getting into the cons of this movie, I have to say this movie feels like they took Sam Raimi's Spider-Man and then they took the Twilight films and they put them all into a blender to create this young adult take on the Howling. And while being the best produced sequel in the franchise, uh, they were aiming for a different demographic, one that I'm not a part of. And because of this, it's one of the sequels that I rewatched the least. The young adult love story tone and the cringy voiceover narration grate on my nerves. But hey, at least there's no line dancing, so that's a plus. Uh, Now, for the werewolf theme topics. Uh, the werewolf type in this is bipedal, similar to that of the first film. Uh, the werewolf design impressions. I think the werewolf design is very solid and the best in the franchise since the first film. The designs and the suits are my favorite thing about this movie, period. Um, and actually, I got some images I'm going to pull up to show you in case you haven't seen this movie. I think these werewolves look just awesome in this movie. Uh, Definitely the best since the first. Not as good as the first, I don't think, but these are absolutely great. I wish they had this type of production value in some of the other sequels that I actually tend to like a little bit more than this one. Um, so yeah, the I love the werewolf design in this. I think definitely uh, very good. Uh, the werewolf action, when we finally do get it in the third act, isn't too bad. And what I mean by that is there is some stuff here and there throughout the movie. There is action throughout the movie, but it's a lot of like perspective of the wolf or whatever. And finally, in the third act, we get to see the full on werewolves. And when they do it, it's actually I think it's really good. The showdown between Will and the pack, once they do transform, I think is entertaining and well done. I especially liked the moment of uh, the one wolf. I think it was Will's wolf, like basically pushing I think it was the alpha right through like multiple different walls. I like the way that it was shot. Again, while this is one of my least favorites in the franchise, it's probably one of the better ones in terms of production value. Um, and I think it shows, especially in the third act. Um, I forgot to throw up that, but whatever. Uh, Moving on to the werewolf transformations. Um, the werewolf transformations are a little too quick here and are done with CGI. There's not much to the transformations at all. They happen very, very fast. I wish it was a little bit more of a slow and painful transformation, um, at least with Will's character, because I could understand where maybe a more experienced werewolf would be able to probably endure the pain by this point, but the the werewolf uh, that's new to this whole thing, Will, I feel like his transformation should have been a little bit more slow and a little bit more painful, especially for his first time. Um, yeah. So, and then when it comes to the werewolf sound effects, good, but not really memorable, or to me, like, not really all that threatening as far as like the howls and the growls. I'm thinking this is such a weird category that I chose. I'm probably going to have to mix in like score. The score for this is kind of bland. It sounds good at certain points, but yeah. Werewolf lore. Whew. The film really only covers the most basic aspects of werewolves, alphas, packs. They can die by silver or fire, and then they throw in the full moon aspect, which I think one or two of the other sequels put in there too. Especially part 6, the freaks. But I don't understand why, because the first film goes out of its way to point out the fact that the full moon thing was just kind of like made up by Hollywood. It didn't really have a place in actual werewolf folklore. Um, but it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't explain why Will's mom was a target of a alpha back in like 18 years prior. It's just very kind of, it's like basic stuff. Like the character Will goes to see his friend Sashin, who's kind of like almost like an evil Ed from Fright Night type of character, and asks him about werewolves, and everything he tells him is just it basically my kids would come up with that without even actually watching werewolf films. So not much to the werewolf lore. My overall thoughts, my final thoughts on the movie are this. Um, this is not a movie that I go to very often. Like if I'm in the mood for uh, just so we are clear, yes, I do rewatch the Howling sequels quite a bit. Um, but when I'm in the mood for the Howling, I never reach for this one. I think it's because this one, again, it's like it's a product of its era. I understand what they were trying to do as far as trying to appeal to the people who love, like Twilight or young adult type stuff. Wow, there's also like a little bit of like a Spider-Man, like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man thing in there as well. I'm just not the target audience for this film. This is definitely the young adult version. It's very much a love story. It's just not my thing. But I do have to say the werewolves look absolutely awesome, and I'm going to pull up those images again just to reaffirm this. I think the werewolves look incredibly good here. I love the designs. I love the suits. Yeah, it's just all around just really good stuff. Um, Easily the best looking in the franchise since the first. And it does have an entertaining third act. I think it's got a satisfying third act. It's full of action. There's some good werewolf stuff in there. Again, this is, I think, one of the better directed and better produced ones. But my problems mainly lie in the script. I don't like the voiceover narration from the main character. I feel like a lot of it's very cringy. Again, this is a very young adult take on it, which is not for me. Maybe for some other people, and that's fine. It's just for me personally, it's not my thing. Um, but yeah, it's it's one of the better produced entries in this franchise. It has the best looking werewolves, the best werewolf action since the first film. But it's one that I hardly ever rewatch. It's my second least favorite in the franchise. I think it's a better movie probably than Part 4, the original Nightmare. But if you've been following me with this, you'll know that I have a soft spot for Part 4 for being very close to the first book, and so I give it a pass for that. I'm a huge fan of Part 5. I think it's underrated. I like Part 6 a lot. I think it's fun. Part 3 is just out there. Part 2 is also out there, but I would watch parts 3 and 2 over Reborn. And that's just my personal opinion, my personal taste. I just don't, and it's funny too because part 3 also has a love story, but it's also got a lot more going on there. So you got that love story of Jerboa and Donnie the Creeper, but there's also a lot of back and forth with uh, Breckmeyer, the scientist. So this one is just Reborn is just totally a product of its time during the Twilight heyday. Um, so yeah, those are my thoughts. Got through it pretty quickly, thank God. Got a bunch of comments, which I wanted to mention because so Sean, like when I was setting this up, Sean Sheridan, my friend from across the pond, when I was setting this up earlier, I saw that you had a bunch of comments on here. And then I closed my computer and I went and picked up my daughter from work. And when I came back to and opened up my computer again, all your comments that you previously put were gone. But I did see a lot of them while I was doing the setup of this. So definitely looking forward to checking out your reviews for all the werewolf stuff that you're covering. And yeah, so getting back into it, getting into the comments. Yeah, you do sound like rough, dude. You sound like Ray after watching The Dark Knight shouting at the TV. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks now, and then I just was not feeling better. And on Monday, and I was at work, and I was having a hard time like breathing, and I was starting to get dizzy. So I was like, I'm gonna go to Express Care, and so I went to Express Care. They first thought it was pneumonia, which I've had before many times. I'm surprised I'm still alive, to be honest with you. But the x-rays came back clean, so then they're like, oh, it's bronchitis. I'm like, okay, cool. Um, so I'm on the antibiotics, but yeah. I was like, you know what? I originally told Ray I was going to do this show tonight, and then earlier today, I'm like, you know what? I think I could do it. But then the moment I started speaking, when I started, I was like, I probably shouldn't have, but whatever. Uh, Hunter 82 says, Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. It's a fun werewolf movie. You like it? Yeah, I can see the appeal. Um, it is technically better than most of the sequels that I even like more than it, but I don't know. There's something about it. It's just not for me. You know what I mean? Like, I understand that there's people that do like it. I think Sean Sheridan said that he liked it as well. Um, hey Seth, how you been? It's been a very long time. I got more Scream 7 news and more werewolf news. Yeah, it's been a while. Welcome back, my friend. Um, you know what I find funny about the werewolf franchise? There are more Howling movies than there are American werewolf films, which I find interesting. And there's more. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. I have watched every movie on the list on the website, like 90% anyway. So it's time to put that 2026 list up so I watch more werewolf movies and cry myself to sleep after. Yeah, so I've been, I do have to work on that. I've been working on a variety of different werewolf related projects lately. One is potentially a comic book. So I'm coming up with a big pitch to this indie company, Unparalleled Comics, which is owned by Ray. So I'm working on that. I've been working on my ranking list of every werewolf movie that I've seen. I am officially 4 movies away now from reaching 150. And so I got to really work on that master list and that ranking. Since I've been sick and I've been not working, I've been running through a bunch of werewolf films. Some good, some not so great. So, and then I've also been thinking about that 2026 schedule, which I'll put together soon, which will include some movies that I've seen recently. Um, Again, some good, some bad. But yeah, I will just keep reminding me. I'm just here because I like THS and the Howling Reborn was Twilight Reborn. I still had to buy it to complete my collection. Yep, same here. Same here. I got the DVD of it, and I'm thinking about getting the Blu-ray just to add it to my Blu-ray collection as well, because I got a bunch of the Howling films on Blu-ray. Oh, by the way, I did get the German steelbook of Howling 6 to Freaks. I don't know if I mentioned that last time, but yeah, I got that in, so that's pretty cool. Um, yeah, but I hear you. Uh, all these movies are similar, so I probably, by rewatching a few of them, I could not remember that you didn't cover or miss covering. Yeah, there was a few that I definitely that were on the schedule that I did miss for various reasons, and I'm gonna first look at the list because I know which ones. Like I'll know which ones. Like when I look at the 2025 schedule, I'll know which ones that I missed, and then I'll add them to the beginning of 2026 to make up for the fact that you actually watched them in prep, and then I just uh, kind of failed on that. You know what I find funny with the Vampire Diaries Werewolf transformation? How come it's so painful? It takes so. I haven't seen that show. Um, I like the more painful transformations. So you know what I find funny about? Oh, okay. So you, all right. That comment was there twice. Which werewolf transformation do you find more painful? American Werewolf in London transformation, the Vampire Diaries werewolf transformation, or the Ginger Snaps werewolf? So I can't speak on Vampire Diaries because I have not seen it. Uh, but I think between Ginger Snaps and American Werewolf in London, it's actually kind of tough. So the American Werewolf in London transformation is clearly, obviously painful. It's long, drawn out. You hear the bones break, and you see the muscles and the flesh and all that change in shape. So it's a very, very painful transformation. But I think the one from Ginger Snaps actually kind of sucks too. It's because basically, according to those films, when she turned into a werewolf, you can't go back. Um, so that's gotta suck too. Oh man, I don't get the demographic game using it an old name, taking another franchise's idea, which let's be honest has Buffy Angel vibes for a fresh audience. I agree. The production was definitely higher grade than most of the other sequels. Yeah, yeah. It's. I mean, I kind of get it. Like they were trying to like cash in on the success of the Twilight, and they wanted to put that with um, the Howling brand. Um, and there's like this really annoying line or conversation in the Howling Reborn where Will is talking to his friend, and his friend's like talking about how like no one wants to see 40-year-old people, blah blah blah, in films, and I'm like, fuck you, dude. Don't be talking shit about my people, you fucking young bastard. To be controversial, I will defend Howling Reborn. I find it better than most of these movies. I never hated Twilight, so that does about fair enough. Again, I think the Howling Reborn definitely has some very strong points to it. Absolutely. Uh, but the story wise, that's where it kind of loses me. It's not. It's just not for me. You know what I mean? But again, I can't say enough good things about the werewolves in it. I think the best part about the Howling Reborn is the werewolves. I mean, the designs are awesome. And if I have to put the pictures up again to make you believe it, I will do that. It doesn't have the Howling mood. It doesn't work for me either. Should have just been a different name altogether, but since the Howling is so disjointed, anything goes now. I'm hoping for another new story before they go remake. Same here, buddy. Absolutely agree. They should the people that own the rights to it. I think they still have it. Steve Lane and something Pringle. They should find a way to get a hold of this guy. His name is Seth. He talks about werewolf movies on YouTube. He's got a very small channel, but I think he knows a thing or two about werewolves in the Howling franchise, and I feel like they should reach out to him. You know what I mean? Just throwing that out there. They'll never watch this. This channel is way too small. Yeah. It was worth a shot though. Howling 1 is a 4-star movie. Howling 5 is a 3-star movie. 6 is okay, but not great. 2.5 out of 5. Howling 2, about watchable with Christopher Lee, 2 stars. Rest of dog shit. Yeah. I prefer Original Nightmare over Reborn. Same here. Same here. I got a soft spot for Original Nightmare. Reborn is my least favorite. New Moon Rising ranks above just because no Twilight knockoff story and mostly the VHS cover art. The movie sucks, but I love the cover art. And it says The Howling. There you go. I almost agree with you there, but I can't in good conscience put New Moon Line Dancing over Reborn. Because I'd rather rewatch Reborn than New Moon Line Dancing. Both of those are my 2 least favorites in the franchise, though. I reviewed Howlin' 1-5 and Reborn and On American Werewolf London Late Phases Full Eclipse in Wolfman 2010 and the 1930s movie will begin more. Awesome. Awesome. I have been very distanced from YouTube lately. So I do have to make a mental note to go there and check out all those from you. Gotta give you the view, at least for me, because you're here anytime I do one of these, and you're a trooper. You sit through some bad ones, and you're gonna sit through some even worse ones at some point, my friend. Happy Thanksgiving, Ray. Taking another break from YouTube. Not done alive for a few. Yes, Ray is done for the year, as far as at least what I was told. He basically said at the end of October that would be it for him for the year, while he kind of gets his bearings again and just kind of takes a little break and just kind of regroups himself. We are going to relaunch in 2026. Obviously, I've already kind of began my relaunch with this, changing it from Werewolf Wednesday to Werewolf Weekly, and come on up with a bunch of werewolf themed stuff to cover. But I should be getting a new logo, which hopefully will be put on a shirt, because I will definitely buy shirts and hoodies with the Werewolf Weekly logo on it. And I think Ray's going to cut me a new intro to play. So for now, he's taking an extended break for the remainder of the year. He may want to jump on here and there, prior to 2026. And I told him, just let me know. So, yeah. The Howling Reborn UK Blu-ray art was different and cool. I can't play Region B, so I didn't buy it, but the different werewolf ripping through was noteworthy. Awesome, you got that Freaks import. Oh, yeah. I'll have to check out that art that you're talking about. It's too bad you can't play Region B. You gotta, I don't know, save some money up and find a player that's been reprogrammed, like I did. I can't remember how much I paid or where I got it from, but yeah. What was that werewolf movie where the dude was on the run and his family comes into it in the third act? I like that. I just forgot the name. The Werewolf. The one from 1956, I believe. 1956 or 1957. Is that the one you're talking about? Black and white? Guy has like amnesia, shows up in a town, kills a guy who's trying to rob him, and then, lynch mob forms, and then there's evil scientists looking for him, and then there's families looking for him. Is that the one you're talking about? To answer why my comments were gone for some reason, there's 2 links to live streams for the last few weeks, so probably it's an issue on my end. Yeah, I don't know why StreamYard's doing it. So StreamYard has this new thing now where it's like they call it Mars. So like it plays horizontally for people watching on a computer, or vertically for people watching on phone, and for some reason it just creates two different streams. So that kind of sucks. Because it's confusing too, trying to take a look at, okay, what sometimes I like to do check after after I'm done with these shows, see, hey, how many people liked it on YouTube, and is there any comments, stuff like that, and yeah, and where are the views and stuff like that. Not that it really matters, but I just kind of like to look at that stuff. I get wanting to cash in on Twilight, but the Howling is special on its own. It doesn't need to be a knockoff, and yes, 40s is young Hollywood. It needs to check itself. That's right. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I would have just preferred a adult werewolf film, uh, especially with these werewolves. God damn it, I can't say it enough. The werewolves in the Howling Reborn are awesome. And if the team that made these werewolves, if the team behind this film, particularly Joe Nimzicki, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but if he made like this awesome adult werewolf movie with those werewolves, I think it would, probably would have been the best since the first. Ginger Snaps next. The first one is a good movie. I watched the sequel and prequel for the first time a few weeks ago. Didn't like that either. Interesting. Self-care is important. Best to Ray. Absolutely. Definitely. The Werewolf Syndicate. I'm sure Ray's coming back, but he never retires. Name change coming. Yeah, that's right. The Werewolf Syndicate. We're taking over. Yeah. Yes, that's the one that is getting a rewatch. I love that one. Yeah, I actually just got that on DVD probably like a month or so ago. I ordered it and it finally came in. Hold on. It is getting difficult to speak. Nate coming back next year. You dudes not done a Sunday show in months. Yeah, I think Nate wants to do something. I know he wants to do a live dramatic reading of the script he wrote as a follow-up to his fan film, The Confession of Fred Krueger. So just waiting on him to kind of let us know when he wants to do that and just kind of work things out. But yeah, I think he'll probably be back in 2026 as well. He'll definitely be here for our our every new year we talk about like our favorites of the previous year, so he'll likely be around for an episode where we go through the 25 favorites of 2025. I prefer this to Hellraiser. Those later movies nearly broke me. I'll be honest, they were that bad. I'm glad you like The Howling better than Hellraiser. I'm a fan of both. I love both franchises. I'm not ashamed to admit it. The Howling was easier than Hellraiser. Yeah, I could see that. Especially with some of the Hellraiser sequels kind of like blending together and stuff like that. Yeah, so that gets through all the comments. I'm gonna probably I'll stick around for another few minutes if there's any more comments that come in. But then I'm gonna bounce because again, I'm sick. I apologize for my voice and all that. Been sick for a couple weeks. I have bronchitis. It's difficult to speak and breathe sometimes. Um, but I figured I'd just jump on and conclude my coverage of the Howling franchise. Again, I started with the trilogy of books from Gary Brandner, and then I covered each and every film in the franchise. So if you're new here and you like this and you want to hear my thoughts about some of the other ones, go to YouTube. They're all there. So yeah, kind of going over my thoughts on the Howling Reborn. It's just not for me. It's the Twilight era young adult take on the Howling, uh, and that's not my thing. Um, it is, again, one of the best produced, best directed in the franchise since the first film. Definitely not as good as the first film, but it looks good. Um, I, I think most of the acting isn't bad. I never really covered the acting earlier. Um, and it's got amazing looking werewolves, and I'm gonna share them again because I think the werewolves are awesome in this film, and it's probably the bright spot of this film is these werewolves. I mean, it's the third act of this film. I think like I could put in this movie and probably just go to chapter selection and then just watch the third act and be done with it. Um, the werewolves look really cool in this, and I wish that the people who made these designs and suits and whatever uh, had a better movie to work with, like a more adult feeling movie, a more threatening werewolf film. That'd be great. Region free player would be much too risky for my budget, but it is tempting. Yeah, I can't remember how much I paid for mine. Can't remember. It may have been like 150, something like that, maybe a little higher. But I had to at first I went and I thought I ordered one, and one came in, but it wasn't one of the ones. I had to specifically go to a certain seller to get it programmed. But I love it. I love having it. And yeah, I understand budget wise, the money I spent on my region free player and the money I've spent on my my German Blu-rays of the Howland sequels. Probably not financially responsible of me, but hey, what the hell? Uh, appreciate you doing the show. Thank you. Feel better. Thank you. Appreciate it. So yeah, thanks to everyone who had. Whoop, oh, one more comment. I don't mean the console player. I mean all the movies I want to buy, even though I already have. Yeah, I got you there. I got you. Yep, because I'm kind of the same way. I got some I got a lot of werewolf movies that I have on DVD that I rebought for Blu-ray, and you know what I mean. So I understand what you mean there, but yeah. So Jordan, Sean Sheridan, Scott Walker. Am I missing anyone? I think it was mainly you three that. Oh no, there was actually there was a couple other people. Hunter82, thank you for watching. Uh, Sparky Marky Mark 23, thank you for watching and commenting. And anyone who watches after the fact, after this is done being live and all that, let me know what you think of this movie, and let me know what you think, where would it rank. Um, so yeah, I'm sick, so I'm gonna bounce the fuck out of here. So thank you everyone who watched and tuned in and is going to and blah blah blah. The Howling Reborn, not for me. As far as story wise, I think it's got a bunch of positives to it. but it's not my cup of tea. Awesome looking werewolves, though. Definitely awesome looking werewolves. So good job to the team that made that designed and did the suits and everything. Werewolves were great in it. So um, yeah, I should be back next week with Ginger Snaps. I may have to tweak the schedule that I came up with because I am planning on. I, yeah, I got to move some stuff around because I did miss quite a bit. But anyway, good night.